Hello, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Him, He, or Ruma, or should I, yeah, Ruma, was a angel. So, before we jump into this What If, I made a fan-made book about this. So, please go check it out. It's gonna be fun. And it's called What? Or no, not one. It's Welcome to Angel School. So yes, it's quite a funny story. But in whatever I say in the story, he is also in the that. So you guys will be quite interested in the story. I hope that you guys. So ready? And this is where, yeah, I tried my best to yeah. So now let's begin our what if. So the story goes like this. His Ruma was born with the powers of infinity and zero. And he basically is quite tough. And yeah. So, but he stayed true to his heart. Aren't? So, his parents love him for it. And so everyone cared about him. But tragic I can't even talk right now. Sorry. Sorry. Tragically, he struck both of his parents died in a accident. So he had to live by himself. He felt like he was all alone. But then a super deity has came. And because he's always been such a good person. So this is kind of different from the Welcome to Demon School, where where his parents were greedy and they made a deal with the devil or should I say the chair demon, and stuff like that. But yeah, so but in this alternate timeline, if you know who super deity name is from Seven Deadly Sins. So, but this one she's called Super Deity Sento or Senta. I can't even say it. So, she adopted him as her own son. Just like, yeah. She cares about him. She even took him to the heaven world, where angels are always at. And so he starts training because the couple of days have passed. They have him be, so he was an angel part. But little did they know that he has the powers of infinity and zero. So he just needed some alone time to adjust to his powers scale. And yeah, to feel more comfortable with using both. So he goes to a not forbidden, it's more like the abandoned as thing, where since after their Lord died, they always wanted to have more meetings of wars and all that stuff. So he goes on, and he could feel the aura. What made the humans more valuable. So so as he could sense that the Hun wasn't dead. He could feel the essence of it. In order to, as he lifts his hand, because his body, half of his body is zero, so his right side. So when he stuck his hand out as the essence of the not gun, God, his essence went right into his body. He could feel the influence of stress that, he wasn't, or they weren't, or he could feel the pain in that because of he lost his, or because he could feel the God in his pain of sorrow and regrets. And one of them was actually couldn't heal properly or couldn't be resolved. as he tells him, let me deal with your sorrow. As it was, he knew what it was. It was he needed to apologize to his twin sister that is about his attitude stuff. So he walks out of the abandoned temple. As he shows up at his sister, or no, the God's sister's house. As he basically was super stressed, or she was super stressed that she didn't know how he was feeling. So then he walks in, sits down with her, and he tells her that he's sorry for his attitude and if he was being mean to you. As his sister, or the God's, is every time I'm spelling it out for you, so I'm saying G-O-D. Because every time I say it, the name, it sounds like I'm saying G-U-N. So, I apologize for that. So, now, let's continue. So, after he apologized and he wanted to prove that, as he hugs her and as he basically is happy that he's basically So now, after all that stuff, now we're moving on to the meeting between the angels and the demons. So they're like, and they show up. The chair demon, this guy, I almost called him a quacko. And his daughter went to there. And then who else showed up was showing up was her and her adopted son, that, So then but when she basically, sorry, if, yeah. And so, during the meeting, she let her father talk on most of the time. But she looks over at him with blushed face. And she could tell that he's human. And, yeah. She basically fell in love with him. Like, you know that saying, that love at first sight? Yeah. Well, she actually fell in love with him. And the reason why I'm using the IRUMA, Ruma, as a dark version, is because I feel like it. Like, so yeah. So, Ruma always, he didn't notice that she kept eyeing him. Like, keeping her eyes on him during the entire thing. So after the after they had a giant argument between the angels and the demons, she actually, like, normally during the meetings things, normally she walks out and then let the adults fight among themselves. But this time was different. She actually grabbed Ruma and dragged him away. Him. As she finally confessed her feelings for him during the entire meeting thing. So then, yeah. So she ends up basically kissed him right on the forehead. And she basically tells him that he's is a perfect person for her to date. Because in this alternate version, her father wanted her to date and marry instead of being like super strict, if you know what I mean by that. So but his sister, or no, not his sister, his daughter, or he did not realize that the so he asked the supreme deity I could tell that he's a human. Yes. But it seems like your daughter really loves him. That's good. Because I tried to make her date other people. So far, none of them catches her eye, except for him. So, it's perfect. So then yeah. Yeah, so then your friend, or then, or so his sister, or no, his daughter ends up, not sister, his daughter ends up, like, choosing Ruma, iruma? I can never say his name properly. Every time I say it, it sounds like I'm saying room. Oh? Iruma. Iruma. Yeah. So, yeah, so he basically, the word that's between the if and was, that's what I'm trying to say. So he basically, so she tells him, or she tells the him that he, or that she'll allow her own son to go into the demon race universe or world and to see what it is. And then he comes back. Hey? Sure. I'll keep him safe. So then so then he basically went to a human world, and when he went to a human world, or no, not human world, I meant the demon world, he basically he could feel the power because of his power of zero, as he could the flow of, and so he goes and he becomes as some random ring just fell out of, or he fell and hits him in the head. As the ring rolled right onto his finger somehow. His right hand. As he could feel, as he gets himself up, and he's like, what just happened? as because he had the power of infinity and zero, but there was also a mix between a demon king and the Hun, basically, is separating his mind from splitting into, or he's trying to keep himself from, as he's like, dang, what happened? As he's he could feel voices in his head about, you're a powerful one. As his dark counterpart self, like, basically because after he arrived, he could feel the negative energy of the demon race into himself. So he's basically absorbing magical powers into himself anyway. So as it felt like he needed to relax just a bit. So then, yeah. So he goes to, so he hangs out with her. She doesn't even know that he's suffering from being in the world. And, yeah. As he reads a book, a manga, as she loves to read certain ones, and stuff like that. Sorry. So, yeah. So then, as it seems like everyone else was immune. So, let's say one day, it was a parent day. And he doesn't know what it is, so he wants to check it out. So, but little did they know that he was born with so much power that even when they don't see him as a true threat until the very end of the story. So, then, interesting. As he looks at the school destroyer, basically, and he's like, huh. As he loves her, okay? He doesn't want her to get killed by the explosion. So he's like, huh. As a big explosion happens, but they didn't realize that they're all safe. As he sticks his hand out as he's absorbing the most of it. As both sides of him splitted, like, as he splits into two separate entities. both of them got sent flying. When the purple-haired kid, this guy right here, was, I still call him the dark one, and he inherits slash was born from powers of 0, and the other was born with powers of infinity. So yeah. So then her father looks at him, or actually was like, what was that explosion? As he comes back to life, as he's like both of them regain consciousness. As he's like, oh, so as she's like, okay. As he's like, I'll be fine. As she didn't know that the person that she's talking to was actually the dark counterpart. But her father could tell right off the bat that, tell me, dark. As he looks up, and he says, What happened to your good self? Oh, do you mean infinity? I don't remember exactly. But I do know that we got separated into two separate people. Me and him. He got sent flying back to the human world, if I remember correctly. Oh. So you're saying that But trust me, if we put ourselves back together, he actually still loves you. Well, so they agree that, so it was forbidden, but no one could argue with 0 or dark, because they know that he could absorb their magical powers away, or bring them closer to knock them out, or anything like that. And so, yeah. So they went to a human world, and they found the light self. He was just hanging around, not doing much, but he's like, as the green haired girl's like, man, so you're saying As this is what he looks like with. Yeah. So everybody was like, man, light blue, dark blue, man. So then he gets ready to fuse back together. Yeah. So then, and both of them, by the way, I forgot to mention, both of them have the two opposite counterparts, one of the ring. So they both still have it on their right hands, but yeah. So then when he put himself back together, he's like, man, that felt weird. And then, so they went back to the demon realm, and when super deity heard that the demons have infiltrated the human race, they went to battle, but before the war started, he just, or her son stops it by saying, stop, as his eyes are firm. As he had not just normal wings, he had, like how, I'm using I can't even say it, Elizabeth from Seven Deadly Sins. Like, you know how there's like two on each side of her like backs thing? Like all four are angels? Well, two top ones is the two of these wings were demon wings, and then the other like on the bottom were basically angel wings. I was gonna make it look like Todoroki type, where one side's black and the other side's white. But I'm like, no. So then I end up, so that's why I keep things balanced. Like all the things should be. So, now with that out of the way, now, wow, I'm impressed, son. And so then he says that I was born with powers of infinity and zero. And that's how I knew that plus reason why they went to a human world instead of it was to getting the good side of me. As he says it truthfully. So it was the dark part of me says that it wasn't their fault. I asked them to come to the human world. So then they are like, yeah, okay, yeah, I agree. So then the guy was literally about to kill the harness, but then out of nowhere, he gets smacked And right out the side of the head. Because of how powerful he is. Or how powerful the main character is. I'm still calling him main character. No, not him, but the... him. I still call him the main character, so... yeah. So then... she finally walks up to the deity and asked her if it was okay for her to marry to the main character. As the deity says, yes, I am allowing you. This would be the peace treaties. Okay? We will be in arms. Okay? As he had no regrets about that. So then they got married, and after they were dating and they got married and had one kid, a girl. And she was pretty good thing. Yeah. She ends up getting married. Or no, not really. So she actually gets married to one of the younger generations. The same generation as her. And plus, he already made a peace treaty with them, but the guy says that, well, we still need to figure out who would be the next Demon King. As they didn't realize that the main character had the Demon King part of him. So he's used to it. So of having someone telling him to, or he's used to having so much power. So he goes between the Hunnish race and the demon race. So he's a between. When he's yeah. Because everyone could, or all the demons could sense that the main character is going to be the Demon King. And yeah. So now, without further ado, let's end this what if. Because I'm hungry and I want to eat some breakfast. So, and good night, or no, actually, good morning to everybody. or have a good night or day, depending on time zones. Peace out.